18 minutes before 4 here on the Power Drive. Now, in a country where top businesses are threatened by instability within the executive level, there is a need to foster upcoming talent and transfer skills that will help them thrive in their roles as the next generation of leaders. To ensure this is happening, the executive team of Odgers Berndtson South Africa has introduced the CEO for a Day program, which is designed to uncover some of the most promising future leaders and give them an opportunity to walk in the shoes of a senior executive. The program matches a fourth-year MBA student from top business schools with some of the country's leading CEOs. Let's find out more from the Managing Director of Odgers Berndtson Sub-Saharan Africa. Leo Ayo is on the line for us. Good afternoon to you, Leo. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon. Absolute pleasure.
Leo, talk to us. What is the idea behind...
Well, Odgers Berndtson, we've been headhunting and recruiting leaders for the last 40 years, specifically 10 years in Africa, finding the country's leading CEOs and executive directors. And we thought it was a great opportunity to look at the next generation of talent and where it's come from. So working with the leading business schools, Henley, UCT and Stellenbosch, we ran a program to try and find out who these future leaders were. And it's a program we've been running around the world for the last 7 years in North America and Europe. And we're really pleased to see there's some excellent leadership talent coming out of South Africa's business schools.
Very interesting that you list those schools, those particular schools. I mean, are those the ones that have been identified as the top schools? Because it seems that these days, you can get an MBA from pretty much anywhere you go. So are these the ones that then have been established as the top schools in South Africa?
Yeah, that's a really good observation. I'm actually calling you this afternoon from Henley Business School Africa. So that's got a branch in out in Asia and now Indonesia. So these are the schools that are globally recognized and where that qualification does have a really global currency.
So once you've identified this talent, and by the way, let's maybe start with how you go about identifying those that you will place.
So we went to speak to the MBA cohorts of these business schools and advertised the opportunity, presented to the classes. And we had about 70 applications. So the initial stage is an online application, as you would applying for any executive role. And from that, we did a series of assessments that were very, very thorough, culminating in a one full-day assessment where we would assess the candidate's ability to communicate, work in a group, assimilate information, assess their self-awareness. So it was really thorough. So for the top students, they got the opportunity to spend a day with one of South Africa's top business leaders. And for those that were semi-finalists, they got an opportunity for some real-time feedback in terms of how they could improve going forward and stack the odds in their favor for getting an executive role.
And how many students did you work with?
So we assessed over 30, and we then chose the top 7 to spend the day with the 7 CEOs involved in the program.
And then why is your company, best placed to execute in this kind of place and to provide this type of mentorship?
I think as a global firm, it's a campaign that we've run in different parts of the world. So we're in 30 countries, and within those 30 countries, we are always looking out for top leadership talent. And it's really interesting. I've been in South Africa for 2 years now, and the skills required in America and Europe and South America and Asia are quite similar to those required here. Obviously, there's some nuance and flavour to South Africa. I think personally, I lead the business here, but I'm also very interested in business education. So I actually lecture here at Henley and at UCT. So for me, it's a part of combining my personal passion with my day job. So hopefully everybody wins.
And which companies did you work? Kind of feedback that you received from the students that went out to these companies?
Well, we work with Richard Brace with Pick and Pay, Nicky Newton-King at the Stock Exchange, Pooty at Shanduta Group, Richard Pike at AdCorp, Peter Wharton Hood at Deutsche Bank, and Shmuel Yusuf at Vodacom. And I have to say, the feedback from both the CEOs and the students was really positive. I think the students were particularly blown away by how approachable and how self-aware these leaders were. And the lesson that it seems to be coming through loud and clear is that these very successful leaders have their authentic leadership style. So of course they're very clever and they know how to run these businesses technically, but the interpersonal skills, the team building skills really stood out.
And
likewise, I think, sorry, go on.
Yeah, no, you go ahead.
I was just saying, I think likewise the CEOs were really, as I was, encouraged to see such excellent talent leading South Africa's business schools right now.
All right, and then going forward, what are the plans? I mean, how long have you been running the program now? What are the plans going forward?
So we did it in South Africa, and it was essentially as well. We wanted to see if it would be as well received as it is in North America and Europe. And I have to say, I think next year we'll probably be working with up to 20 CEOs, and I imagine speaking to over 200 potential MBA students. So we're going to keep growing this program next year.
Excellent stuff. Well, we will be hearing in a moment from one of those CEOs that did participate in the program. But Leo, thank you so much for talking to us. I appreciate your time.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Leo Ayo is the Managing Director of Odgers Berndtson Sub-Saharan Africa.